I had a lot of fun. I directed this this fun little thing you're about to see, and quite a treat too to be able to see the whole. Thank you. Thanks, Dad. To be able to see the whole thing. Now, just to warn you, this is we're still in production. This is not the final version. You'll see there's some temporary stuff in there, and there'll be some changes by the time you see it on air. You do? Thank you. Thank you. Be the first to tweet that you love the show. Sorry, thank you. Okay, I'm losing control here. Thank you. And a well-groomed bunch, I might add, for Comic-Con. You should be very proud of yourselves. The whole con is pretty clean this year, isn't it? It's kind of well run. Not the usual hot buttered we're all used to out on the floor. Oh, yeah. No, I walk the floor. The con's getting better every year. It really is, everyone. And it's great to look at a full house like this and coming out for Revolution. Thank you so much. So I can't go on too long. We're going to show it, and then afterwards there'll be a Q&A with the cast and Eric Kripke, the creator and executive producer of this. Yes! Yes. And but what I will say is this was a pleasure to work on. I read the script that Kripke wrote and developed with JJ, and I just thought it was something really cool and different, and we put together a really cool cast. And look, let's hope with this kind of stuff that's off the beaten path, it really takes support and people to take an interest in it and be vocal about it, and that's what allows these things to get a chance to grow and develop. And in the hands of this great squad of J.J. Abrams, Eric Kripke, and I'll be working on it too as the season goes on, it's something really special that I'm very, very proud of. So without further ado, I present Revolution.
It's my brother. Benjamin, what's up?
Listen to me very carefully. It's gonna turn off and it will never turn back on.
What's gonna turn off?
Everything.
Ben?
Miles.
What the hell is going on?
So, what caused the blackout? Was it a solar flare, an electromagnetic pulse? Physics went insane. The world went insane overnight, and nobody knows why.
I have been searching for you for a very long time.
What's this about?
I suppose this is your boy?
Danny's gone. You need to find my brother, Miles. He can get Danny.
Why would they take Danny?
I guess we'll know when we find him.
This brother, Miles, what do we know about him?
All my dad ever said about him was that he's good at killing.
Oh.
You drew first.
That put your blood on your hands, son.
God knows what they're doing to Danny right now. So you are gonna help me get him back.
Why's that?
Because we're family.
Your brother is bait. Monroe thinks your dad knew something, and he thinks your dad told me. Why the lights went out?
What?
See, you guys were worried there for a second, right? What would you do? 15 years later, we're all still stuck here in this room together. So let me introduce our panel right now. First up, the executive producer of Revolution, Mr. Eric Kripke. Next up, you've seen him in things such as Rizzoli and Isles, The Closer, and a little movie I like to call The Twilight Saga. It's Billy Burke. Of course, plays Miles on the show. Next up, she plays Charlie Matheson. You've seen her on Being Human. It's Tracy Spiridakos. You've seen him on Once Upon a Time, and of course, Breaking Bad. He plays Captain Neville on Revolution. It's Giancarlo Esposito. Giancarlo, I'm glad I see this cleared up. I'm glad you kind of healed. That's looking good.
I heal fast.
And finally, you've seen he'll be in the next Twilight movie. He plays Nate on Revolution. It's J.D. Pardo. So Eric, what the F is going on? So, who's behind this? Well, I mean, what can you tell us in sort of, what cabal? Is it a military sort of coup? What is causing this?
No, I'm glad you asked. I'm going to reveal every secret of the entire show right now.
Then we can all leave early.
For this crowd! I'm really not. It'll be an ongoing mystery of the show, but I can promise you we have the answers. I can promise you that the mythology will move forward at a aggressive pace, and we'll answer the questions, and then we'll ask new questions, and so it'll be fun. It'll be a really rollicking, ass-kicking show.
One of the things about the show that you were talking about is sort of like your previous show. You're going to be moving around. I mean, they're sort of nomads now. They're on their way to sort of find the answers. So.
Yeah, it's a big epic quest. It's a big mythic Joseph Campbell story. It's the whole point. My whole idea of the origin of the show is just finding a way to do like a really Lord of the Rings or Star Wars or Wizard of Oz or the Odyssey, but just like a really epic saga across, America. And with swords and good and evil and heroes and villains and I just, for whatever reason, I'm totally incapable of writing a cop show. So,
and we thank you for that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
But I think the other thing that you've mentioned in the past is sort of, and you look out at this crowd and how many phones are recording you right now, how many YouTube videos are going to appear in the next day or so, and sort of how this culture, society now, sort of inspired a little bit of this story.
Yeah, and it's really, we think we stumbled onto a really compelling what if in terms of this wasn't caused by nuclear war or disease or...
What was it caused by, Eric?
Or zombies. It was just caused by the power going off, and you saw it with this blackout, like how frustrating it is. Or is anyone ever angrier than when their computer freezes up? And to take all of that away, and then on top of all that, we're dangerously separated from our food and water supplies. And I think everyone sort of feels in kind of their animal instinct that we're over-reliant on this technology. So I think everyone can picture themselves in this world, and we want a world that people kind of want to play in, and they want to see, what would they do and how would they survive, and make it an exciting place to visit every week. So, and that, again, everyone can really see what would happen to them. And for the record, I would be either dead on day 3, or I would be in somebody's harem.
You are a very pretty man, to be
I am.
fair.
I have delicate features.
Yes. So, Billy, you are one dangerous mofo.
Yes, I am. Thank you.
So, I understand there's a sword school. Talk about sort of what you went through on that kind of training, and going forward, sort of what kind of kicking ass are we going to see you accomplish?
Well, we have who I consider to be one of the best in the business to take care of that for us. His name is Jeff Wolf. He's our stunt coordinator and choreographer, and he did the Pirates of the Caribbean movies and stuff. And he really sort of created our own style of fighting for this show, which is what Mr. Kripke had suggested and hoped for. And it's kind of nothing but 2 tons of fun, really. I'm having so much fun doing it.
Yeah. And Giancarlo, let's talk about this character. It's sort of another heavy in some ways, and also sort of another character who kind of has a duality to some degree. I mean, your character was sort of a paper pusher in the past life, and now he's running a militia. I mean, talk about sort of the complexity of this character and sort of what makes a man go from point A to point B.
Well, I think it has to do a lot with how his family of origin, how he was raised. He was probably a weakling little kid who had a dream to be a stronger man. And when he realized that being an insurance adjuster enabled him to be a master at reading people's body language, and he understood when people were lying to him, he transferred that when the power went out, into figuring out how he could be more powerful as a human being. But I think he's doing it for a good reason. He's trying to preserve order, the last bit of order that may exist in this world, and he's really wanting to bring people back together in a certain direction, to harness and find out what happened. But he's also, chasing and being chased, so the adventure continues. Thank you.
Going down the line, Tracy, talk about your character. I mean, she's got guts. I mean, she's obviously seen her father die, and now sort of going forward. What happens next?
Yeah, I mean, her entire drive is just getting her brother back. At the beginning of the episode, she just really wants to go on an adventure and see more of the world she's confined in this one little place. And now all this has been laid on her shoulders to just save her brother and bring him back. So it's an epic journey.
And JD, talk about your character a little bit and sort of his motivation. And
Nate,
you also get to do some cool stuff.
Right. No, he's an expert archer. He's a fighter, and you don't quite know where his allegiance lies. He's going on the same journey, but he's interrupted when he meets the beautiful girl. And
Perfect.
All right.
There we go.
Yeah, blah.
So I'm kind of racing through these questions because unfortunately we don't have much time. But Eric, what can you tell us? What are we going to learn? What are we going to, without telling us exactly what it is, at least what sort of answers should we kind of expect?
Yeah, no, I mean, there's a couple different, as you can tell from the pilot, there's a couple different storylines, and all of them, I think, are equally kind of emotional. I mean, obviously, there's the drive to turn the power back on, but equally as important, it's a drive for this family to come together and reunite, because I think what makes genre shows great are its focus on characters and making sure that they're complicated and deep and human and emotional and relatable. I mean, if you look at the great genre shows, if you look at, Buffy, X-Files, I mean, Lost, which is like the gold standard of an ensemble genre show. I mean, you tune in for those characters. And so it's just about really this family reuniting. And then another part of it is more and more this resistance. You don't even really see the resistance in the show outside of the fact that the title's Revolution, and this resistance will begin and grow more and more, and these characters will be swept up in it, and it is really about this revolution as they're kind of fighting to restore the country and fighting to restore their own family. So I think there's a lot of I think the mythology is important, but I really think it's about it's about characters, and it's about family, and it's about freedom.
And on that note, unfortunately, that is the end of the panel. Mondays, 10 p.m. this fall, Revolution. Yeah. Tell your friends.